This man wanted to become an immortal as quickly as possible. He specially bought red bean mochi and tried to choke himself, but things didn't go as planned. The mochi got stuck in his throat and caused him intense pain. His soul instantly floated out. Now he no longer had thoughts of suicide. He sought out Ichiro, who could see ghosts. Kenpachi asked Ichiro for help to remove the mochi stuck in his throat. Ichiro came over, opened Kenpachi's mouth, and asked Jiro to use his paws to retrieve the mochi. But Jiro was just a dog. There was no way he could succeed. Ichiro had no choice but to pick up Kenpachi's body. He hoped to use the Heimlich maneuver to force the mochi out of Kenpachi's throat. Ichiro thought this method would surely save Kenpachi, but by then, Ichiro was completely exhausted. His knees buckled, and he fell, taking Kenpachi down the stairs with him. Ichiro had no other option. He pulled Kenpachi's tongue with all his strength, and finally, he managed to pull the red bean mochi out. They both felt relieved. Kenpachi quickly returned to his body. Then he choked a few times, but because Kenpachi had been deprived of oxygen for so long, he still died. Ichiro thought it was such a shame. He had been so close. Just a few more seconds and Kenpachi could have survived. Ichiro and Jiro, both so young, witnessed death for the first time. They started crying uncontrollably. Ichiro felt that Kenpachi's death was their fault, but Kenpachi's soul answered Ichiro. The dead embrace death because their time has come. It could be due to an accident or illness. Everything was fate. Hearing this, Ichiro and Jiro stopped blaming themselves. Although this eased Ichiro's mental burden, Kenpachi still blocked Ichiro from leaving because his body was too embarrassing to face anyone. Kenpachi didn't want to lose his dignity after 70 years, only to be shamed by his disgusting appearance. In the end, Ichiro had to put in all his strength. With Jiro's help, he moved Kenpachi's body and cleaned up the room. This way, Kenpachi's dignity was preserved. Kenpachi then threatened Ichiro not to tell anyone about his embarrassing death by mochi. Otherwise, Kenpachi would become a ghost and visit Ichiro every night. Ichiro thought this was what people meant by offering oneself. Kenpachi felt that this was a moment for repaying kindness with kindness. Ichiro kept his promise and didn't mention Kenpachi's death until after the funeral. But that night, Kenpachi came to Ichiro because he realized he couldn't become an immortal and reach the blissful world, even though he had lived a pure and upright life, never bothering anyone. Kenpachi couldn't understand why, but he had forgotten something from when he was 18. At that moment, a medium named Kai Darini appeared. She told Kenpachi he couldn't become an immortal because there was someone he knew who couldn't become one either, and it was Kenpachi's fault. But Kai Darini refused to tell him who that person was. If that person couldn't ascend, neither could Kenpachi. Even with Kai Darini's hint, Kenpachi still couldn't remember who he had wronged. Until the next day, Ichiro asked his grandfather about Kenpachi's past. It turned out Kenpachi was the eldest son of a rice business. Years ago, Kenpachi came here as a new teacher. Although many of his students were people he had taught, Kenpachi was very lonely.